Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from whatever part of the world you're tuning in from. My name is Tracy Nalmer and I am your English expert for the IELTS exam. So I just want to say a quick thank you to every single person who attended my Q&A session yesterday on Instagram. It was amazing. Gosh, you guys had so many questions. I'll get straight into my introduction. So I'm a postgraduate student at the School of Education in Trinity Western University, Canada. I'm currently en route to a PhD in English and my academic training is on TESOL. So that's teaching English to speakers of other languages, just like yourself. And I used to mark the IELTS exam at the British Council. So my daily nuggets are designed to tell you some of the things that I failed candidates for and basically to help you watch out for them. This week, I'm working on the writing module and today brings me to the end of my week. Oh, I'm going to miss writing so much. Not to worry, our topic today is the fine art of storytelling. How do you build up a piece? That's the first question. When you want to build up a piece, a lot of planning goes into it. I've been saying this in all of my videos and I don't think I'll ever stop saying it. Another thing I've flogged in all my videos is how readers are writers. You see, if you do not know how it should be, then there is no way that you're able to recreate the same thing. Now, being a writer means that you have to, take a cue from one or two people who have also written. And I need you to know you don't have to read books like volumes and volumes of classical literature and all of that to write. No. I'm thinking of things as little as a newspaper clipping, reading an article from a website. It could be reading something on your phone. Hopefully written in clear English, not written with abbreviations and all sorts of acronyms that we find on social media right now. But basically reading anything that's been written. I used to read things a lot since I was a kid. I remember being 4 or 5 years old and as my mom was driving me back from school, I'll be reading billboards, like just reading it out loud, reading what they had to say. It was just something that I always did. I've always been a reader. So you don't have to read a book every day in order for you to be a great writer. But all you have to do is make sure that you're reading something consistently every day. You can sign up to a reading subscription, have something done in bits. I'll talk about this in my course if you register for my writing course at the end of this week's module. I would like you to know that every single day you must put something written into your head. Like you cannot not do that. That's the best way to get your brain started. Also, I'd like to give you some pointers for you to know how to scaffold your story. You need to break it into 4 bits. Now, the first one I'd like to hammer on is brainstorming. Before you start writing anything, you need to start brainstorming. You need to think about what you want to do. You need to plan it out. You need to have a game plan. You can just take yourself and jump into the race. No, you need to know exactly what you're going to do. And like I said in my videos from yesterday, I was telling you that having a plan means that you are actually planning to succeed. And planning to succeed means that you are looking at the question that's right in front of you and you are trying to create ideas that will help you answer that question in the best way that fits with your answer, create your answer in the best way that fits with the question. So brainstorming is this stage where you gather all of your ideas, when you put everything written down. You don't have to make it perfect, you just have to sketch it. Now in the IELTS exam, you'll always be given the opportunity to make your sketches and your notes in your question paper. So do that. Use your question paper to create like a brainstorming draft. How many paragraphs you want, what's gonna be in each paragraph, and how long you want the paragraph to be. That's your first stage of brainstorming. And then the ideas that you want to explore in each paragraph. After that, then you go on to the drafting stage. Also, you don't have to do your draft in your answer sheet. But however, I'd encourage you to scribble really quickly because you have about 2 writing tasks and each one is about 40 minutes each. So you don't want to spend too much time in your drafting stage and forget about the fact that you have to do the main writing eventually into your answer script. So at your drafting stage, you put all your ideas together, like everything you've written out in your brainstorming stage, you start to create them, like you start to actually build a paragraph. And then you can write really quickly with that. But try to make sure that even if your writing is not legible while you are creating your draft, when you're putting your answer in your answer script, your handwriting must be legible. Like in school right now, under one of my courses, one of my TESOL courses, I did a bummer. So there's actually a bummer that talks about you using clear handwriting if you want your tutor to grade you correctly. Because the way the brain works is, if the handwriting is clear and is legible, chances are that the person writing it is making a sound argument, because you can follow clearly, you can actually see. But if your handwriting is not legible, chances are that people would, your marker, i.e. me, would think that you're writing one word, meanwhile you're writing something else. So having handwriting that is clear is very, very good. If there's one thing you do in the stage for your IELTS preparation, is that we have to work on your handwriting as well. Like, that's something that has to be done. You cannot flog that. Enough. After your drafting stage, you move on to the editing stage. So this is where you do all the trimming, the pruning, cutting out what doesn't belong, putting in something that you might have missed out, making sure that you're checking for your spellings, making sure that you're checking that your language isn't verbose, that you're using language that is simple enough to understand, so that your marker doesn't have to reach for a dictionary at every single step of marking your script. And then you just basically use your editing stage to tie up your ideas, to make sure that there are no loose ends, that there's nothing falling back and forth that doesn't have to be there. Your editing stage is your chance to put everything together and make you look like an award-winning writer. At this stage, you read over your draft at least 2 to 3 times. If you have a word count, of which you will have a word count, generally your word count should be somewhere between 750 and I think 1,004 or 1,200 words or 1,500 words. You should try to keep your writing within the word count. So your editing stage will help you to check that your word count is correct. So if you want to do a quick one, because you know your IELTS exam is time bound, so if you want to do a quick one based on how you know how many words you've created, you actually don't have to spend your time counting every single word one at a time. No. What you have to do is count all the words in your very first sentence, and then count how many lines you have. So just do a quick multiplication, the number of words on top multiplied by the number of lines. It will give you an estimate of how many words you have, and technically you will not be very far from between 10, less 10, or plus 10. You will not be far from that number. So that's a quick way for you to garner your word count and make sure that you have all that tidied up, instead of you counting one by one. Yes, I know some English people in the house say, oh, but we hate math. Well, you need some simple arithmetic to get by in life, and I kind of like how to do that too, even though I'm in love with words. So there you have it. Now, after your editing stage, you put everything together in your editing stage, and then you transfer it into your examination answer sheet. This is the part that I like to call publishing. So as you publish, make sure that your handwriting is legible enough. Make sure that you've got your punctuations in the right place. If you make a mistake, please do not paint your answer script. Don't do the whole zig, 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 and clean every single thing. No, just put one line. One line is fine. Just strike out a word and then continue writing. Try to make your writing to look as neat, as cute, and as pretty as possible. Like, I cannot plug that enough. After you have published, then you're just about it, ready to go and get your answer scripts turned in, I hope. And I hope that you've enjoyed our video today. I see that time is almost off. Gosh, I have so much fun making these things. I have no idea where the time goes while I'm doing it. I'd like to invite you to my IELTS training course this week. It's a whole week long, from the 9th of November 2020 to 13th of November 2020. It costs 27,500 naira, that's about $60. And to register, all you have to do is send me an email to englishexpertforielts@theonlinelady.com. Just put your name and your phone number there, and I will send you the link for the registration. I want to make you an award-winning writer, and I want to make you ace the IELTS exam. I hope that you'll give me a chance to do this. I really cannot wait to get into the groove of it. Teaching is my first love. I don't think I can do anything else with my life that would make sense. So I look forward to having your registrations on my course. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Remember that we are social. We are English Expert for IELTS everywhere on social media. And I will be sending out the links for the Q&A that we had on Instagram yesterday night, so that you can watch and have your questions answered in case you couldn't make it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and see you tomorrow. Bye.